Good morning to you. For Telesur, I'm Regan Devines in Caracas, Venezuela. Thank you so much for joining us on our morning news program. We begin today in Argentina, where primary elections have just concluded. Preliminary results show the ruling Socialist Party of Cristina Fernandez is still the favorite among voters. Fernandez's Front for Victory Party candidate Daniel Scioli celebrated his probable victory. He had garnered 36% of the votes after 33% of them had been counted. His points were about 5% above that of his main rival, Mauricio Macri. Scioli ran on the promise to gradually change the policies of the outgoing president, Cristina Fernandez, who is unable to run for a third consecutive term. The presidential elections are scheduled for October 25th.
I think that a cycle is coming to an end, and it's a moment of change in which the country will get better, whatever choice is made. I think it's a positive moment.
We continue in Haiti, where their two elections took place. Haitians across the country lined up to vote for the first time in 4 years. However, the elections were marred by sporadic violence. The polls are a test of stability for the impoverished country that is continually affected by political turmoil. The Caribbean nation of about 10 million people has struggled to build a stable democracy ever since the overthrow of the dictatorship of the Duvalier family. You may also remember that Haiti was all but destroyed by an earthquake in 2010. Now, tensions may remain high in the country as official results aren't due for another 10 days.
In general, everything is fine. There are some bureaus that are having some difficulties, but we have lived through this kind of scenario in previous elections.
The violent Mexican state of Guerrero has made it to the headlines once more. Over the weekend, 15 people were killed. One of the victims was activist Miguel Angel Jimenez. He was heading a search team looking for the 43 Ayotzinapa students and close to 260 more that were forcibly disappeared in the state. Jimenez was found dead at various gunshot wounds inside a taxi near Acapulco. His death closely follows that of photojournalist Ruben Espinosa and activist Nadia Vera, which have sparked international protests and condemnation. Acapulco is the world's third most dangerous city. To Chile now, where at least 3 people have died due to the effects of heavy rains. In the northern coastal areas of Iquique and Antofagasta, residents awoke to flooded streets, damaged fishing boats and decimated vending stalls. Thousands have been left without electricity and hundreds more have been forcibly out of their homes and into shelters across the country.
It's terrible. It destroyed everything and we're left with our hands crossed. Now we must wait for the sea to improve and see if the municipality cleans up and to come here again and to set up our place of work.
In Brazil's Rio de Janeiro, thousands of people took to the streets to protest against LGBTI rights. Members of 30 different churches marched in what was called the Walk of the Families. The protest action sought to condemn any family models and gender identities that marchers considered to be non-traditional. However, the protesters made it clear that they were not protesting against anyone, but were there to affirm their beliefs. LGBTI rights activists have criticized the march, saying that they believe that it called for members of their community to be deprived of their rights. And now a brief of other major breaking stories across the globe.
The shooting of teenage Michael Brown a year ago sparked protests across the states and fueled the Black Lives Matter movement to demand fair treatment of black people by the police. While it has encouraged a national debate about systemic racism towards minorities, ongoing reports of more unarmed black people shot by police, as well as black people dying in custody, means many are saying not enough has been done a year on from Brown's death.
We're here today today because this is the anniversary of Michael Brown's murder, and we're here to spread awareness of police brutality and mass incarceration which exists in this country and unfortunately targets black and brown men and women.
Commemoration of 70 years since the U.S. atomic bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima continued Sunday. In Nagasaki, thousands of Catholics attended a special mass at a church that was destroyed by the atomic bomb. The city of Nagasaki held a memorial ceremony earlier at the city's Peace Park, located right under where the bomb exploded. The U.S. bombed Nagasaki 3 days after Hiroshima. More than 150,000 people died in the attack and from subsequent radiation sickness. Hundreds also took the chance to protest the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's new security bill that could see Japan participating in conflicts for the first time since World War II.
If Abe's security bills are approved, then he can do whatever he wants. Many people in Japan oppose his security bills. Even the legislative experts say his bills are against Constitution, but he still insists to push for its approval. I feel angry and agitated for that.
Pope Francis made a strong appeal for peace as he marked the 70th anniversary of the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during his Mass at St. Peter's Square. He called for all weapons of mass destruction to be banned. The pontiff said the only way to win a war was by not waging it. In his weekly Mass, Pope Francis expressed his deep concern for the violence in El Salvador. He was referring to the transport boycott enforced by Salvadorian gangs that killed at least 10 drivers and as many others last week. Typhoon Sudalor has killed at least 14 people and disappeared 4 in China's Zhejiang province. The typhoon had just pounded on Taiwan, where it left at least 6 people dead. In China, Sudalor has affected almost 1.6 million people. The heavy rains have caused damages to homes, bridges, streets, and other buildings.
Of course, thank you to our news team in Quito, Ecuador for producing the World Package. Now we end on our newscast this morning on a much lighter note. In Guatemala, hundreds of Mayan indigenous people celebrated with traditional dances known in the country as that of the conquest. Now these dances recreate the invasion of the Spanish to America in the 16th century. They also carried out something that is called the flying stick and Moors. This is an act to recreate the struggle between good and evil in the Mayan underworld. The dancers also hung from their feet from about 30 meters in the air. Wow, some good stuff there. For more on these and other stories, please visit our website, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Regan Devines. Have a great and productive day.